O-Level Physics Paper Code 5054, Paper 1 Variant 1, October-November 2013, and today we are going to solve question number 21 to question number 40. Question number 21. The diagram shows rays of light. What is the space labeled X? Option A, a converging lens. Here we have three rays. These three rays are moving in parallel to each other, and after passing this object X, these rays are moving away from each other. In a converging lens, the rays after passing the lens don't move away from each other. These rays come close to each other. Since here rays are moving away from each other, so it cannot be a converging lens. So option A is incorrect. Option B, a diverging lens. Yes, it is correct option. In a diverging lens, the rays after passing the lens, they move away from each other. And here the rays after passing the object moving away from each other. So here this X may be a diverging lens. So correct option may be option B. Option C, a plane mirror. In a mirror, the rays after striking the object, it is reflected back in the same medium. Here the rays are passed through this object, so it cannot be a mirror. So option C is incorrect. Option D, a rectangular glass block. In a rectangular glass block, when the rays enter, there is a phenomena of refraction. So this option is also incorrect. Here correct option is option B, where it is given a diverging lens. Question number 22. The table lists the main components of the electromagnetic spectrum and their approximate frequency range. Which range of frequencies can be used to detect cracks inside a block of metal? To find out the cracks inside a block of metal, we have to use very high frequency. We have to use the frequency of X-rays or of gamma rays. Now for X-rays, the frequency range is given 10 power 18 to 10 power 21, whereas for gamma rays, the range is given 10 power 19 to 10 power 22. So the frequency range that we have to use here to find out the cracks inside a block should be from 10 power 18 to 10 power 22. Now we check the options. In option A, it is given 10 power 3 to 10 power 12. In option B, 10 power 12 to 10 power 15. In option C, 10 power 15 to 10 power 18. In option D, it is given 10 power 18 to 10 power 22. So here correct option is option D. 10 power 18 to 10 power 22 means here we have to use X-rays or we have to use gamma rays. So correct option, option D. Question number 23. The graph shows how the pressure varies as a sound wave passes through air. Which point represents a compression? Here we have plotted a graph in between time and air pressure. In a sound wave, we have compression and rarefaction. The compression is a point where air pressure is maximum and rarefaction is the point where air pressure is minimum. Now here from the graph it is clear that air pressure is maximum at point B and minimum at point D. So point B represent compression, whereas point D represent rarefaction. Here it is asked which point represent compression. So here point B represent compression where air pressure is maximum. So correct option, option B. Question number 24. The sounds produced by two musical instruments are directed towards a microphone connected to an oscilloscope. The waveform produced on the screen are shown. The first physical quantity that is seen in both the waveform is wavelength. What is wavelength? Wavelength is the distance covered in between two consecutive crests or in between two consecutive troughs. Here it is crest of first wave and here it is crest of second wave in the first waveform, and here it is the crest of the first wave and it is crest of second wave in the second waveform. Now here the distance in between two consecutive crests in first waveform and the distance in between the two consecutive crests in the second waveform is same. Since here this distance is same, so here we can say the wavelength in both the waveform is same. Now what about the frequency? Wavelength and frequency are reciprocal to each other. Since here wavelength is same, so definitely frequency in both the waveforms will also be same. Now velocity is given as frequency into wavelength. Since in both the cases frequency is same and wavelength is same, so definitely velocity will also be same in both the waveforms. Now we check the options. Option A frequency, option B speed, option C quality, option D wavelength. Here we have noticed that frequency, speed and wavelength is same in both the waveforms. The only difference is about quality. What is quality? Quality of sound is the property of sound because of which we can distinguish two different sounds of same pitch and of same amplitude. So here our correct option is option C, quality. Only the quality is different in both the waveforms. Frequency, speed and wavelength is same. So correct option, option C. Question number 25. The diagram shows the shape of the magnetic field lines near a current carrying conductor. The current in the conductor is into the plane of the diagram. Which row correctly states the direction of the field lines and compares the strength of the field at point P and Q? First thing here, the field strength will be stronger at point P as compared to Q because this point P is closer to the current carrying conductor as compared to Q. So field will be stronger at point P. Now what about the direction of the field lines? For the direction of field lines, we have to take help of right hand grip rule. What is right hand grip rule? In right hand grip rule, we have studied that when we hold the current carrying conductor in our right hand, the direction of the thumb represents direction of the current and curling of the finger represents direction of magnetic field. Here in this conductor, the direction of the current is upward. When the direction of the current is upward, the curling of the finger is anti-clockwise. So here the magnetic field is in anti-clockwise direction. Now suppose if the direction of the current is in downward direction, then the direction of the magnetic field will also be reverse. So when the current will be in downward direction, the direction of the magnetic field will be in clockwise direction in the reverse direction. Here it is given the direction of the current is downward. Since here direction of the current is downward, so the direction of the magnetic field will be clockwise. So what should be our answer? What we have concluded here, that the direction of field lines is in clockwise and field is stronger at point P. Now we check the options. Option A, it is given direction of the field lines, it is clockwise and the field is stronger at point P. So our correct option, option A. Direction of the field, it is clockwise and field is stronger at point P. Question number 26. Two charged conducting spheres are placed close to one another. One sphere is positively charged and the other is negatively charged. Which diagram shows the distribution of charges and the forces acting on the spheres? Since here we have opposite charges, so here it should be force of attraction, not force of repulsion. Here in option A it is shown force of repulsion, so it is incorrect. Option B is correct option. It is positive charge, it is negative charge, we have opposite charges and because of opposite charges we have force of attraction and here the force of attraction is shown. So here correct option, option B. What is given in the other options? In option C we have positive and negative charges and here force of attraction is shown. here definitely we have force of attraction, but these charges should be shown on this side, not on the opposite side, not on the other end. So option C is also incorrect. In option D, here we have positive charge, and here in the second sphere we have negative charge. Since we have opposite charges, so here definitely it should be force of attraction, not force of repulsion. Here it is shown force of repulsion, so it is incorrect. And second thing, these charges should be shown on this side, not on the opposite ends. So option D is also incorrect. Correct option is option B, where it is shown that we have opposite charges, and because of opposite charges we have force of attraction in between the two spheres. Question number 27. Which row shows a conductor and an insulator? What is a conductor? Conductor is a substance through which electricity can be conducted easily, and insulator is a substance in which electricity cannot be conducted easily. Now in the column of conductor, in option A and B it is given aluminum, whereas in C and D it is given plastic. Plastic is not a conductor, it is an insulator, so C and D are not possible option. Our possible options are A and B. Now in option A, in insulator it is given copper, in B it is given glass. Copper is also a conductor, copper is not an insulator. Insulator is given here in option B. Glass is an insulator, so our correct option is option B, where for conductor it is given aluminum, for insulator it is given glass. Question number 28. Which of the following is equivalent to 1 coulomb? Coulomb is unit of charge, and electrical current is given as charge over time. So charge will be equal to current into time. Now unit of current is ampere and unit of time is second. So we can say 1 coulomb will be equal to 1 ampere second. Now we check the options. Option A, 1 ampere second. So it is our correct option. 1 coulomb is equal to 1 ampere second. Question number 29. The diagram shows a circuit in which all the switches are open. Which switch position give a resistance of 6 ohm between X and Y? It is point X, it is point Y. Now let us suppose we close this switch S1. When we will close this switch S1, what will happen? The circuit will be completed and these two resistors, this one and this one, will be in series. Now when the resistors are connected in series, the total resistance is algebraic sum of the individual resistances. So here the total resistance will be 3 plus 4.5, it will be 7.5. Now suppose we also close this switch S2. Now here switch S1 and S2 are closed. When switch S1 and S2 are closed, these two resistors are connected in parallel. When two resistors are connected in parallel, the combined resistance is calculated by the formula 1 over R is equal to 1 over R1 plus 1 over R2. Now when we calculate the total resistance of these 3 ohm resistors, the total answer 1.5 ohm. Now the total resistance here in this circuit, it is 1.5 ohm. It is 4.5 ohm. So total resistance along the circuit will be 1.5 plus 4.5. It will be 6 ohm. So when we will close this switch S1 and S2 and we will keep this switch S3 open, the total resistance we will get 6 ohm. Okay, let us suppose what will happen if we will also close this switch S3. When we will close this switch S3, what will happen? The current that is coming at this node, it will not flow, it will not pass through this 4.5 ohm resistance, it will flow through this path, because electrical charges will try to pass through easy path. Since here we have resistance and here we have no resistance, so here it is easy path, so current will flow through this path, not through this path. When the current will pass through this path, the total resistance will be only 1.5 ohm. So here, if we have to get our total resistance of 6 ohm, we have to keep this S1 and S2 closed, whereas this switch S3 we have to keep open. Now we check the options. The same answer is given here in option B. The switch S1 and S2 we have to keep closed, whereas this switch S3 we have to keep open. So correct option, option B. Question number 30. The circuit shows 3 resistors connected to a cell. The resistors have different values of resistance. V1 and V2 are potential differences and I1 and I2 are currents as shown. Which pair of relationship is correct? In this circuit, here the current is I1, here the current flowing in the downward direction, it is I2. The voltage across this resistor is V2 and the voltage across this resistor is V1. Here it is given that both the resistors are different. Here the resistance of both the resistors is different. Since here the value of resistance is different, so definitely the value of the current will also be different, because the value of current depends on the value of resistance. With the increase in resistance, current will be decreased, and with the decrease in resistance, current will be increased. So here the current will be more where the resistance is less, and the current will be less when the resistance is more. Since here both the resistors are different, so here this I1 and I2 cannot be equal, it will be different. What about the voltage? Here these two resistors are connected in parallel. When the resistors are connected in parallel, the voltage remains same. So here voltage V1 will be equal to V2, but this current I1 will not equal to I2. Now we check the options. The same thing is given here in option C, that current I1 is not equal to I2 and V1 is equal to V2. Current I1 is not equal to I2 because here resistances are different, and V1 is equal to V2 because here both the resistors are connected in parallel. So our correct option, option C. Question number 31. A transformer is used to operate a 12 volt lamp from a 250 volt mains supply. The mains current is 0.1 ampere. The current in the lamp is 2 ampere. What is the efficiency of the transformer? Efficiency is given as output power over input power. Now electrical power is given as product of voltage and current. Electrical power is equal to V into I. Now here we have to find out the efficiency of this transformer. So efficiency is equal to output power divided by input power. Now for the output power, here voltage and current is given. Voltage is 12 volt, current is 2. So for output power, voltage is 12 volt and current is 2 ampere. Divided by input power. For input power, voltage is 250 and current is 0.1 ampere. So here input power is 250 into 0.1, and by solving this one we will get the answer 0.96. So here efficiency of the transformer is 0.96, that is given here in option C. So correct option, option C. Question number 32. A current carrying wire lies between the poles of two magnets as shown. What is the direction of the force on the wire? Here we have a magnet. It is north pole, it is south pole. Lines of force start from north and moves towards south. So here direction of the magnetic field will be from left to right. And direction of the current in the wire is in downward direction. And here we have to find out the force on the wire. To find out the force on the wire, we have to take help of Fleming's left hand rule. What is Fleming's left hand rule? In Fleming's left hand rule, we have studied that this first finger represents direction of the magnetic field, this second finger represents direction of electrical current, and this thumb represents direction of the force on the current carrying conductor. Now here direction of the magnetic field is given, it is from left to right, direction of the current is in downward direction. Now by taking the help of Fleming's left hand rule, we can calculate the direction of the force, and the direction of the force will be out of plane of the paper. out of plane of the paper is given here in option B. So our correct option is option B. Question number 33. The graph shows the output of an AC generator. The coil in the generator rotates 20 times in 1 second. The speed of the rotation of the coil steadily increases. Which graph best shows how the output changes? When we increase the speed, there will be two changes. First thing, the voltage, the potential difference will be increased, and the second thing, frequency will be increased. So with the increase in speed, this potential difference will be increased and also the frequency of the wave will be increased. An increase in frequency means decrease in wavelength, because frequency and wavelength are reciprocal to each other. Now we check the options. Option A, here we are looking that potential difference is not increased. Since here potential difference is not increased, so option A is not our possible option. In option B, again we are looking that with the increase in speed, the potential difference is constant, it is not increasing, so option B is also incorrect. In option C, we are looking that potential difference is increasing here. Here potential difference is 1 volt, and here in the second wave we are looking potential difference is approximately 2 volt. So here potential difference is increasing. So it can be our possible option. Now the second thing that we have to consider here, it is about frequency or about wavelength. We have discussed before that with the increase in speed, frequency increases and wavelength decreases. But here we are looking that the wavelength is increasing. Here the wavelength is up to this point, up to 0.05, and here in the option C we are looking that wavelength is increased. Wavelength is up to this point. Since here wavelength is increasing means frequency is decreasing. So this option is also incorrect, because here frequency is not increasing, frequency is decreasing. Now we check the option D. In option D, potential difference is gradually increasing. Here potential difference is plus 1 volt, here potential difference is approximately plus 2 volt, and here potential difference is more than plus 2 volt. So here potential difference is gradually increasing with the increase in speed. Now what about the frequency? Increase in frequency means decrease in wavelength. Here it is observed that the wavelength of the wave is decreased. Before the wavelength was up to this point, up to 0.05. Now here with the increase in speed, wavelength is decreased. Wavelength is decreased means frequency is increased. So here correct option is option D, where with the increase in speed, potential difference is increased and also frequency is increased. Question number 34. Which material is used for the core of a transformer and why? Transformer works on the principle of electromagnetic induction. Since transformer works on the principle of electromagnetic induction, so here for the core of a transformer, we should use a material that is a magnetic material. Magnetic material means that is attracted towards a magnet. And the second thing, it should be magnetized and demagnetized easily. Now we check the options. In option A for material, it is given copper. Again here in option B for the material, it is given copper. A and B are not the possible options because copper is not a magnetic material. Now we check C and D. In C and D we have iron. So possible options are C and D, because iron is a magnetic material. Now in option C, the reason is given, it is good conductor of electricity. Yes, iron is good conductor of electricity, it is correct, but it is not the reason that we use iron as a core in a transformer. What is given in the option D for the reason of using iron? In option D, the reason is given easy to magnetize and demagnetize. Yes, it is correct option. Iron is a magnetic material. That's why we use iron as a core of a transformer. And why we use iron? Because iron can be magnetized and demagnetized easily. It can work as an electromagnet. So here our correct option, option D. Question number 35. Which particles are emitted in the process of thermonic emission? In thermonic emission, electrons are emitted out and electrons are given in option A. So correct option, option A. Question number 36. A thermistor and a light dependent resistor are connected in series. Which conditions give the largest resistance? Here we have a thermistor and it is an LDR. In a thermistor, with the increase in temperature, resistance decreases. So when it is cold, the resistance will be largest. When the temperature increases, the resistance of the thermistor decreases. What about the LDR? In dark, the resistance of the LDR is maximum, and when here the light increases, with the increase in light, its resistance decreases. So if we have to get the largest resistance, we have to keep this thermistor cold and we have to keep this LDR in dark. Now the same thing is given here in option A, that this thermistor is in cold and this LDR is in dark. So here correct option, option A. What is given in the other options? In option B, the thermistor is given cold but the LDR is given in light. Since LDR is in light, so here the resistance will not be maximum. Here in option C, the thermistor is hot. Since here thermistor is hot and with the increase in temperature, resistance decreases. So again in option C, the resistance cannot be maximum. In option D, the thermistor is hot and the LDR is in light. So here the resistance will not maximum. Here the resistance will be minimum. So option D is also incorrect. Correct option is option A, where it is given that thermistor is cold and the LDR is in dark. Question number 37. What are the characteristics of an alpha particle? Alpha particles are positively charged. Now we check the options first. For the charge, in option A and B it is given negative. In C and D it is given positive. So our possible options are C and D because alpha particles are positively charged. Now here in the second column it is given ionizing effect. For ionizing effect, in C it is given strong, in D it is given weak. Out of the three radioactive radiations, alpha, beta and gamma, alpha particles are most ionizing. Alpha particle ionizes most. So we can say alpha particle have a strong ionizing effect, and strong ionizing effect is given here in option C. So correct option is option C. Question number 38. Alpha particle pass through an electric field or a magnetic field. How is the path of the particle affected by these fields? When alpha particles are passed through electrical field, there is a deflection. These alpha particles are deflected. What is the reason? Alpha particles are positively charged. When these positive charged particles are entered in electrical field, it will be attracted towards the negative field. It will be attracted towards the negative plate. Since it is attracted towards the negative plate, so it will not move in a straight line. They will be deflected towards the negative plate. So here alpha particles are deflected when it is passed through an electrical field. What about the magnetic field? We have studied that when a charged particle is entered into a magnetic field, it is deflected because of magnetic force of attraction. Since alpha particles are positively charged, so alpha particle will also be deflected in the magnetic field. So alpha particles are deflected in electrical field and they are also deflected in magnetic field, and same thing is given here in option A, that alpha particles are deflected in electrical field and deflected in magnetic field. So correct option is option A. Question number 39. Which row is correct for nuclear fission and for nuclear fusion? What is fission? In fission, a nucleus is divided, a nucleus is split into smaller nuclei, whereas in fusion, two smaller nuclei are united together to form a bigger nucleus. Now we check the options. In fission, for option A and B, it is given produces larger nuclei. So these option A and B are incorrect because in fission, a bigger nucleus is divided into smaller nuclei. That is given here in option C and D. Produces smaller nuclei, produces smaller nuclei. So possible options are C and D. Now we have to check the option C and D only. What about fusion? In C it is given is the energy source of a star. Yes, it is correct option. For fusion, we have studied that in fusion, two smaller nuclei are united together to form a bigger nucleus, and in our stars, the main source of energy is fusion. In stars, the energy is generated because of fusion. So here our correct option is option C, where it is given in fission produces smaller nuclei, and for fusion it is given is the energy source of a star. Okay, we will also check what is given in the option D for fusion. For fusion in option D it is given releases energy in a power station. In a power station we have fission reaction, not fusion reaction. Since in power station we don't have fusion reaction, so definitely the energy release will not be because of fusion, it will be because of fission. So option D is incorrect, correct option, option C. Question number 40. The composition of 4 nuclei are shown in the table. Here we have 4 nucleus P, Q, R and S, and here number of proton, number of neutron and number of nucleons are given. Which two nuclei are isotopes of the same element? What is meant by isotope? Isotope means same proton number but different neutron number. Now here if we check these 4 nucleus, it is observed that in P and Q, proton numbers are same, whereas their neutron numbers are different. So definitely this P and Q are the isotope of the same element, because here proton numbers of P and Q are same and neutron numbers are different. P and Q is given here in option A, so correct option, option A. Now we have completed this paper 1, variant 1, October, November 13. Thank you very much.